So in terms of Ganon, they stated many times that Ganon can really, despite his immortality with the Triforce of Power, he can be slain. But it only says the thing is, it only mentioned that certain types of weapons can, can kind of quote unquote kill Ganon because he doesn't. Because keep in mind, he doesn't really die. He comes back one way or another. So
Hmm.
even with these weaknesses, like he doesn't really die. So as far as I know, there's really no way to put him down permanently if he's always coming back. So one example is that it says he can be injured by the light arrows
Hmm.
or the master sword itself. But
Hmm.
again, you know, it doesn't like it hurts him if because keep in mind whenever they defeat Ganon, he just gets sealed away. But he ultimately comes back even with these weaknesses. So the master sword
Hmm.
or silver arrows, but I don't recall them ever stating specific holy weapons in general. It's like, hey, so a holy weapon. So if I have like a bladed cross, will like fucking dipped in holy water and I stab Ganon with it, will that permanently kill him?
Yeah.
It's kind of vague if you think about it because they're only stated that these type of weapons could kill him. The light arrow, the master sword.
It's all holy weaponry or magic because the sages are magic. They're holy magic. That's what holds them in place.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just like so. As far as I know, those are really the only weaknesses he has: the light arrows, the master sword. I'm sure there were other holy weapons I forgot to mention, but as far as I know, like, is it just these weapons? See, that's my thing. Or is it these weapons, or all holy weapons in general can quote unquote kill Ganon? Because in the series, again, he's never been shown to actually die for good. He's always been the final boss in every single game in one way or another. It's not just some random ass other new villain that just comes out and tries to fuck with Link. You know what I mean? It's always pretty much the same guy. It's always Ganondorf. He's the reincarnation of Demise.
Hmm.
So even if Dracula has a holy weapon, see my thing is how is he gonna be able to put Ganon down permanently?
Yeah, and
That's the
that's
biggest question. Like
yeah,
what does he have that can really put him down permanently?
and that's kind of how I feel too. Yeah, as far as the weaknesses go, sunlight and stake into the heart. To me, if Dracula truly can be killed by anything, stab at him. Because yeah, Alucard, he ain't using no holy shit, and he would have killed his father. He put it halfway through, but he stopped, and then Dracula just pulled that shit out, and he's like, oh, But
Yeah.
had Alucard continued to thrust, our boy would have been dust. But dooms. But yeah, so that's kind of really when it comes down to the durability speaking. Once again though too, whenever Dracula dies, he always comes back to life. Like he can throw curses onto the Belmont people. So when they die, he's like, "All right, you're gonna kill me? Cool. I cast a curse on you, and then when you die, I come back to life." So like, he's never really. He needs it as strong as the Belmont people because even when he got resurrected many times, I think he needed like Belmont blood. Like, there's a certain power output, that he needs because in their world they kind of have this like kind of like Full Metal Alchemist. Remember, like for every equal there's a negative. You know what I mean? Like the whole alchemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
equivalent exchange, I think is the word they kept throwing around over and over. It's almost
yeah,
like he kind of needs that. So he's so evil, he needs something of that so good to make it happen. And obviously that's where the Belmonts come into play. Obviously, well,
yeah,
God himself technically would be the equivalent ish, but on Earth as a mortal, the Belmonts are that worthy of and they do those sacrifices, or they can just sacrifice a bunch of men to resurrect him, but that's outside help. How he comes
yeah.
back to life almost like 9 times out of 10, minus the curse. So if the curse would work on Ganon, then yeah, he can just put it on Ganon, and if Ganon ever dies, which technically he never has, he'd come back to life. So I don't see that working. I'm gonna have to give the durability to Ganon.
Yeah, and also another thing to point out, Ganon's also capable of pulling curses because, as they mentioned, like he cursed the Deku Tree to death.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna assume that because if one's able to perform curses, they should be immune themselves to curses, if that makes any sense. So
Mm-hmm.
I think Dracula is probably immune to curses. I'm sure that's pretty much will cancel each other out.
Yeah. As far as Yeah, I don't think any darkness works on. Actually, darkness would work on Dracula, and the reason I say that is because his own son, even though he's a Dhampir, He can still hurt him.
What's a dampier?
A half vampire, half human.
Oh, okay, okay. Never,
Well,
never heard of that term before.
that is the technical term of a half breed vampire human.
Oh, I
Dan,
never.
Dan, yeah, Dampier.
Oh, ne-
Um, and yeah, he has. I guess this is worthless knowledge. I don't know if y'all know, but Alucard, his son, all that is Dracula spelled backwards.
really?
Look at it, Dracula, Alucard.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh shit! I did not know that.
mind blown.
that
uh,
really is mind blown. Oh shit!
I was really into it. In fact, actually, if I had a kid, I actually want to name my kid Alucard.
That's so
My,
dope.
my brother's name is Alan, so I want to
Yeah,
name him Alucard, but Al for short.
yeah.
I really want to name. I want to name my kid Alucard, Cecil, or Odin. Those are the three names I want to name. If I had three boys, those are the names I wanted them to have.
Those are all sick names. That'd be
I
dope.
know. I know.
Yeah, yeah. That's so cool to know that. Really, that's not useless information. That's actually pretty fucking sick.
Yeah. So yeah, I was really into like vampirism and all that stuff. And my brother really was into it. But like I always had like this thing. Like I thought it was just so damn cool.
It is. It
Um.
really is.
Yeah. So yeah. As far as that goes, we'll definitely go on to I think the next abilities. Right. That would probably be our next thing.
Abilities and magic and all this other stuff. So in terms of
Mm-hmm.
Ganon, he has unlimited magical power because of the Triforce of Power granting him, unlimited magic. So he has no,
Limitation then.
yeah, he
Yeah.
has no limits of what kind of things he could do. Obviously, he could perform curses, like it just said. He plagued the Deku Tree to death. He was
Mm-hmm.
there. It was mentioned right here in the Reddits. He plagued Lord Jabu Jabu, so he could also cause plagues.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I already mentioned that. I'm sorry. Let me shut up.
Yeah.
He has elemental powers. He says he was able to freeze several Zoras in red ice. He imprisoned Link with he has a wave of darkness. He can levitate. He can shoot up balls of lightning. If you play the games, you just bounce them back at him. So he can
Mm-hmm.
do that. He can create thunderstorms. He can create giant rings of fire around the castle. He imprisoned Zelda in an ice crystal. He possessed Zelda. He can create barriers. He can summon horse riding spirits from like beyond the fucking grave or whatever. And yeah, like this is just some of the stuff that he could do.
Mm-hmm.
So what about until I see more, what can Dracula do?
Yeah, as far as the abilities go, razor sharp claws our boy Dracula has. We're basically butter, the average human, to Dracula. So we would get literally just he can do like that anime shit where he slashes his hands like 5 times and all of a sudden we just slide in different directions in many pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean an average human, definitely is not going to survive his wrath. He can float too, and he can fight while doing it. He's really well high speeds. So they both float, right? He likes to play a lot with fire. He also has magma as well. So Hellfire, Dark Inferno. I don't know if he has Dark Metamorphosis. That might just be his son exclusively as a move. But actually, I would say it pretty much is Hellfire, but his son just calls it something different. Maybe he has daddy issues. And with that being said, it's kind of more one of those things that he uh, tries to kind of sneak behind, teleport behind and kind of make it, throw some fireballs at him. And then, like I
hmm
said, he amps it up by going with magma, from that's Dark Inferno. So yeah, it actually will melt solid stone wall, uh, ice, um, like tons, and we're talking tons of ice. It can actually melt it too, so it's definitely pretty hot shit. And
Right.
ice is pretty powerful. Like when it's like for instance, he could melt probably like the Antarctic
Damn.
with that type of
He's continent level then if he can melt the Arctic. Fuck.
in a sense, and also stone too. Yep. I mean, we're talking a lot of feet of stone wall and ice. Well, maybe the Arctic maybe might not melt. I guess maybe don't quote me on it, everybody. But from what I remember, like he can melt a lot. Like that stuff. It's magma, so that gets pretty damn hot. I don't remember Ganon's durability with fire. Actually, that's right. In the Ocarina of Time, don't you knock him in the lava? Because the final fight, you had to fight him around a circle of lava, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so, as far as I
I,
remember. But
it's been so long, I don't remember. Yeah, I remember playing it, but I'm pretty
but
sure, like in the end, when you took him out, he kind of like did the dramatic like you stabbed me, and he starts rolling around in pain, and like he rolls into the lava and dies or some shit. I
Yeah,
don't
but
remember.
but then he just comes back and then
Well, of
transforms
course.
into
Yeah.
transforms, which obviously for those who didn't know,
Yeah.
all two of you don't know, he has a transformation into Ganon, which is that giant ass sword wielding pig,
Yeah.
and obviously his powers are amplified like 1,000 times or whatever. And as far
Hmm.
as I know, his real weakness to that is pretty much his tail. Cause that's pretty much
Yeah.
where you have to pretty much to get him, like his tail. But other than that, his strength is amplified. I'm sure his magic is amplified as well. But as far as I know, I don't know any magic feats that Ganon himself can do. Other than that, he can still perform his curses. He still has trident that
Hmm.
he has. But
Hmm.
I actually have a question regarding Dracula. Like, I vaguely remember he had like all his power comes from a source like
The Red
called like
Rock.
yeah, like the chaos, the red rock, but like
Yeah,
in
the chaos. Yeah.
yeah, the chaos realm. But like, can you elaborate more on that? And like, yeah.
I feel like Death Battle's probably going to do a better job of explaining it. But basically, for kind of to go back to that equivalent exchange comment,
Mm-hmm.
where for there to be a god of such power for good, there has to be a god of such power of bad or evil, whatever word you want to use.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where there's a different realm. There's chaos and order, I think, were the two different realms. The Red Rock was part of the chaos. There was a way to I don't remember. Oh, it's been so long with the story with Leon Belmont, but in the end, Leon's friend, or I think it was his friend, was I don't know if he was tricked into grabbing the rock or whatever, but he needed a body. I think Dracula did, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it kind of started off with that, or either he lured him into it, because the spirit needed a host, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's kind of really like the whole history on it. Like I said, that's something I honestly did not research really quick before I. Usually, Death Battle kind of explains that before the fight begins, so I didn't really like want to go into the rock. As far as like, is it going to be a weakness to Dracula? No, the rock's not going to magically be floating around where you can like attack it to win. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be anything like that. So that's why I didn't honestly go over that. I
Okay.
apologize. I wasn't really
No, no, it's
on
fine.
point
I
on
was just
that.
asking because obviously that rock and that chaos dimension or whatever it is like, if that's the source of his power, but like could it, like, if it were to be destroyed in some way or another, could it
Mm-hmm.
like end Dracula for good?
Yeah,
Like I
that's why I brought that up. I was like, I don't. Normally, it's. I know when Richter was being brainwashed, there was a little gem floating over him that you had to destroy to save him. If you didn't, you ended up killing him. I remember that, but
oh,
that
okay.
was in one game or the other. I don't want to spoil too much in case someone decides to play these games, but yeah. In a nutshell, I don't remember the Rock ever being like a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Like an obvious, I can see it. I'm gonna go after it to win weakness. So yeah, to go back to the like also another ability is reality warping as well. He can jump between that chaos realm and the order realm. So kind of like you said with Ganon, that it can jump between. I don't know if that's really a speed feat for Dracula or just an ability. I think it's more of an ability. I don't know how Ganon does it if he literally moves fast enough to jump. I almost feel like that's kind of an ability in my opinion. When you jump
Yeah.
dimensions, that's an ability. I mean, it still is a speed traveling feat, but I wouldn't use it as a combat speed feat if that makes sense. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I know how to jump between dimensions with a spell. That means I'm faster than the universe. No, it doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like that I don't get that using that as a combat feat. I'll say it that way. So he can
Mm-hmm.
do that as well, which also that's an ability I just wanted to go over real quick. Soul stealing. He basically, if he can get his hands on your head, he can basically steal your soul, and he actually life leeches in the process. He doesn't have to actually bite you for that move. In theory, he actually has taken death out himself because death is, I mean, for what you can say whatever you want about the Grim Reaper, but the death literally the thing about Dracula is he has the power over everything that's evil.
Mm-hmm.
That is something. So like the mind control is another ability that one could say, will it work on Ganondorf and how will Death Battle portray it, right?
Yeah.
So there's that, and then soul stealing. He was able to steal death and absorb him completely to get back at full power. Death basically sacrificed himself to save Dracula. That has been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
He has the ability to explode or do like a massive explosion. I know it sounds kind of funny, but
Yeah.
like it's just one of those things, like it just unleashes a bunch of like negative energy. So I it's like it hasn't destroyed the castle that they were in fighting or anything. I don't know if it's a game mechanic, but it's not really like he's got the ability to see through the eyes of any bat. He can turn himself into a bat, or multiple bats, I should say, or summon bats.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he can turn into a wolf as well, or mist form. Mist form, nothing can hurt him in that form. So
Mm-hmm.
at any time, if he's about to get hurt, he could just mist out of the way to dodge it. Like every time Ganon swings, he can just mist, come back human form, punch him, mist, human form, punch him. He could do that if he really, truly wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like I said, different demonic forms in his fights. This is what he's done in the past. I don't know which form they're going to give him. It's a 3D fight, I know. And then yeah, as long as he needs cult blood and Belmont blood to get rezzed, and Death has resurrected him before. So that's more of the durability part again that I'm going back to. But it's technically considered an ability. So I
Mm-hmm.
digress, I would say at that point. But his ability to possess, remember, like mind control. So I kind of
Yeah.
went over that already too. And then also remember I mentioned curse earlier. That's why I was kind of like, it's kind of hard to explain it all on certain levels, you know
Yeah.
about remember like his durability is like, well, I'm gonna die, well, I'm just gonna curse you, and then when you die I come back to life. So
Yeah.
it's like one of those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's pretty much all I have. That's pretty much all I have to go over. So do you want to make a verdict?
Basically, one more thing I just wanted to mention too is he has the
Sure.
ability to manipulate his castle. I think that's just kind of like a built-in kit to him. I don't think he has the ability to like manipulate towns, or anything like that. Like his
Mm-hmm.
castle is just like it's part of his arsenal in a sense. And I don't know, like, is the fight gonna take place in his castle? Like I don't think that would in theory, like I said, if Ganon tries to hunt him during the day, it's gonna be in his castle, right? Like that would make
Mm-hmm.
sense. But like the only time you're gonna find him during the day is in his castle sleeping in his little tomb, whatever. But at night, I mean he could be rolling around doing his own thing. And also too, he also can like move his castle around too. Like he literally can take his castle and lift it, and then just fucking Yokozuna splash an area.
Yokozuna
Like
splash.
if you remember wrestling
Yeah.
Yokozuna, but
Yeah. I
yeah,
got it.
he literally like took his castle and just dropped it on a town before.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, in theory, he could just take his castle and drop it on Hyrule's castle. Just like me, and just teleport it right on top of it and just drop it, just boom. Just literally
Yeah.
just sit on that castle's face.
Man. Yeah.
You like
That's
you like
true.
you
That's
like
true.
that high roll? I'm gonna sit on your face.
I lost some. I don't know what's gonna happen
Yeah,
in the fight, but yeah.
we'll make our prediction. Go ahead, man.
Um, I kind of don't know. I'm still a little on the fence about this.
Okay.
But based on everything we hear, the fact that Dracula, he has proven that he can die. I guess for now, until we actually watch the death battle, we may actually, like stop midway, give our prediction after the analysis. But for now, I'm gonna say Ganondorf just because he just seems like he's gonna be a much harder person to put down if he could even put him down at all.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Dracula, like he has been shown he can be put down in some way or another.
Mm-hmm.
So if for that in that regard, I'm gonna say Ganondorf. I could be
Yeah.
wrong. We'll just have to wait till that battle comes out. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. It seems like to me the only thing that Dracula has going for himself is going to be speed. That's the only thing I'm seeing is his ability to dodge arrows better than Ganon makes him. And Dracula's fighting style is long range, so Ganon will get caught up in all the long range, and every time Ganon gets close, Dracula will back off. But uh, Ganon has infinite magic resources versus Dracula. I would say eventually he would run out of blood. That's like kind of a vampire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's not stated, but it is also stated that all vampires need blood to live. So if he can't get any blood throughout this fight, he eventually will just he'll gas out. That's kind of the way I would see it,
Mm-hmm.
leaving him open. And once I don't know how well Ganon knows about vampires. I don't think they even exist in the world of Hyrule. But he gets that hit in his heart. That's gonna take him out right there.
But
I don't see. Oh, go ahead.
But another thing, before we end this, I do want to consider that it's been shown many times that Ganon is actually a very tactical fighter. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he can figure shit out really quickly. So I'm pretty sure during that fight, he's gonna be able to pretty much read Dracula and like know what he has to do to put him down. So that's another thing. Well, I'm sure Dracula's smart as fuck as well. But like in terms of like actual tactics, I think Ganon's been more to show more is a little more tactical in battle than uh the Dracula is. I could be proven wrong about that. That's just my theory. But that's something we have to take into consideration as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to form a strategy and plan his attack accordingly. So that could definitely help him. I don't know how Dracula does all that. I don't know if he's also tactical or he just puts out his magic anywhere he goes. You know what I mean?
He is tactical because he also can command anything. He can command all of evil and death.
True.
Like he actually commands a whole army, like all those skeleton warriors running around, all the little ass goblins running around, demons,
Yeah.
death. Like death is basically like the command sergeant major of his whole army.
Yeah.
Medusa is also part of his army. Like he commands all that. Like I don't know. Like are they actually going to show him like throwing all those things at him? I mean that's technically outside help, but that's also his arsenal. Like you know what I'm saying? Where you can
Yeah.
really see that's also technically, an ability, I guess, in a sense, when it comes down to it. But yeah, I mean, I just oof. Yeah, like you said, the fact that Dracula has been killed and he has a weakness that anyone can do, while Ganon's weakness is specifically holy magic, like it is, or holy weapons. It is like it's been proven over and over. And I know some people try to say, "Oh, you can actually whack him to death with a wooden sword." That was one game out of the 20 games that exist. Now, canonly speaking, or continuity, whatever word you want to use for this argument, that's like saying the one Superman that got knocked out with a shotgun, that's Superman's durability is a shotgun blast. Right? Out of all
Yeah.
52 Superman, only one Superman got hit with a shotgun and he was knocked him out. Only one Superman, the moon blew up and knocked him out. But then all the other Superman can survive like a fucking a Big Bang, no, Big Bang Theory, whatever. You know what I mean? A supernova. Like,
Yeah.
so if you're gonna use those one-off durabilities, yeah, then by all means, Dracula's gonna win. But if not, no way. This match is going to Ganon.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. So obviously, guys, this is our hypothesis on what we think will win. We obviously could be proven wrong, and I think definitely in this battle, once we watch the analysis, we'll definitely Nidge, if you're down with this, we'll definitely stop and give our prediction. Then you
Mm-hmm.
down with that?
Yeah, and then one last thing I guess I'll say quick. In my
Okay.
heart, I want Dracula to win, but I feel Ganon is.
Okay, fair
Just so
enough.
y'all don't think I'm biased or some shit.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah. It's like just like I wanted Deji to beat Jake Paul, but it didn't happen. I knew Jake was gonna win. Not rubbing anyone's face. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's just kind of how it went. Like sometimes you have to go off of what you know. And hopefully, I mean, I want to be wrong. That's why I'm hoping Death Battle comes up with something. I want my boy Dracula to win. I really do.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. So, yeah, so guys, if there's any additional information that you thought we missed, don't be rude about it. Just you know, educate us in the comment section down below. I'm stuttering a lot today. What the fuck? But
Well,
anyway, guys,
but
yeah,
there is one way he could win. He could smack his own magic because his own magic can hurt him. That actually is Ganon's other weakness.
yeah,
Hence, remember when you play the frisbee game or tennis with him.
yeah.
So maybe that could work if Dracula catches on. We'll see.
So, as I said, guys, if there's any additional information on both these characters that you thought we missed, please leave it in the comment section down below because we want to know more information about this before the Death Battle comes out. So, guys, if you guys enjoyed this reaction, please subscribe to each of our individual channels, my channel and my boy NidgeDFX's channel. You do so is, the videos to the left and also the videos to the right. Play this to get your feet wet. And if you eat a cup of tea, you better go find us out there and believe it. I'm Ivan. This is my boy NidgeDFX, and we'll see you guys when the Death Battle comes out.
We're out.
Peace, everybody.